everyone, it's Amy with AMI Clubwear and NYR TV, and today I have an amazing interview with Autoerotic, so stay tuned. Okay, so for the viewers who don't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started in music.
My name's Keith. I'm from Toronto, Canada, aka Autoerotic, and I guess I got started in 2008 when we sent our first EP to Steve Aoki, who's the head of DMAC Records, and the rest is history, really. It's been a blur all the way up until this point, and every day is a new adventure.
Okay, and talk to me a little bit about your name. Where did it come about, and what was kind of like the concept for Autoerotic?
There was this TV show called Kung Fu: The Legend Continues, and it had this star. His name was David Carradine, and he died in real life in Thailand, performing autoerotic asphyxiation on himself with a bunch of Thai prostitutes.
Nice. And
he went out, exactly the way he wanted to go out, I guess, which was, with something up his butt and being serviced or pleasured to the point of death. So really, the name just means to do anything to the point of death via pleasure. Mm-hmm. So listening to music until you die.
So talk to me a little bit about your songs. What separates you from the rest of the whole house EDM kind of scene?
In some respects, I guess, autoerotic has always been more of like an underground sound, and we try to avoid the commercial upper crust echelon of EDM music as much as we can, even though I love to dabble in it once in a while, just as everyone should, you have to be built. But for the most part, we've always tried to approach every track or every remix from a different angle. It never sounds the same twice. Mm-hmm. So instead of always, using the same drums or the same stacks or racks or synths or whatever, we always try to change it up a little bit and find a new way to approach every single project. There's a lot of stuff out there that I guess sort of sounds very similar or familiar every single time, which isn't a bad thing because you should know someone's sound. Mm-hmm. So the trick for us has been always to have people identify with what we sound like when our own two songs don't sound the same, which is a trick and a challenge and always difficult.
What are some of the challenges you face as a producer in the music industry? Talk to me a little bit about the pros and cons.
I mean, the pros are obviously being able to travel the world and basically getting to live your dream every single day. Mm-hmm. There's no real downside to traveling and performing. Those are always two of the biggest highlights and my favorite aspect of it now. I guess the cons would be, trying to stay relevant and trying to keep people involved and trying to always, stimulate the younger age demographic to always rejuvenate your fan base, things like that. Just trying to stay hyper current nowadays because there's so many people doing what we all started doing a long time ago. So yeah, I would say the pros heavily outweigh the cons. It's once you get it and you have an idea of what your angle is, then it's not that hard to try to stay current, really.
Tell me a little bit about the current tracks that you're pushing right now.
I guess our most current releases would be Play It Again, which came out about 2.5 months ago, and it's this big room track with a really cool snare drum roll build-up, which is my favorite part of EDM right now, non-chord build-ups. And our most recent release would be Laser Bass, which is heavily influenced by DJ Snake's remix of Duck Sauce. That was the inspiration for that whole track. It started as an edit for that, and then it became this ever-evolving, laser track, because I love lasers also. And upcoming, our next release would be Feedback with Kamichi Vegas, Like Mike and Steve Aoki. And that's a huge gangbang collaboration that we came together on over the last 6 months. We've been playing it at every festival, every single show, and it's a monster track. So I'm really happy with that one. I can't wait for everyone to get that.
What's it like working with Steve Aoki and his DMAC label?
Steve is an amazing guy. He is probably one of the funnest guys to travel and party with, and the label that he runs is a byproduct of exactly that. It's one of the coolest labels to work with, and the whole family it literally feels like a family. I'm from Canada and Toronto, and I'm pretty far away from those guys all the time, and I literally miss them when I go home. It's like a home base. It's like a second home. And those guys are awesome.
We just want to know, do you get nervous when you go on stage? Do you get butterflies? Is there anything that goes through your head that, kind of makes the whole being on stage presence exciting?
I think if you don't have butterflies in your stomach, or you don't feel that nervous or that slight edge, then it will take away from the show, because I think the whole part of being on stage is driven by excitement, and nervousness causes excitement. So for me, I'm not trembling, but I do remember playing my first big crowd. It was 25,000 people at EDC, and I think it was 2 years ago, and that was the biggest crowd that I played for up until that point. And I remember being so petrified, like so scared. I was like, I don't know what to do. And like Diplo was giving me shots of alcohol, and you know, Steve was telling me everything's gonna be all right, and like Calvin Harris was playing, and I was like, I don't know what the hell to do right now. Like I was just like I was going crazy. And you know, I got up there, and once I got up there, it all went away. It just became natural. And ever since then, I just always think of that moment in my head and compare it to every single stage and every single show. And you know, yeah. In short, I do get nervous, but it's like, it's a good type of nervousness. It's a really excited nervousness.
And last but not least, tell me what's next for the world of autoerotic.
Wrapping up 2013, I'll be hitting a bunch of states in America, but most importantly, I will be heading to Tokyo on December 14th and performing in Japan for the first time ever.
Very cool.
I'm super excited. Hey, what's up? This is Autoerotic. You're watching AMI Clubwear and Unwired TV.